Welcome to the Somnus Lab unboxing. This is the competitor to the 8 Sleep. I want to see if this thing is just as good or comparable. It is just as quiet, no subscription, has actual controls, does not require internet or an app, but there is an option too. So today I'm going to show you everything that comes in the box, what it's like, and there's a link down below if you do plan to buy it. They gave it to me early access. This is a 60 by 80 inch large pad size, 153 centimeters by 203. So it's a queen. The sleep pad comes inside of this box. And then on the left here, we have another box. This is the actual hub. So I have an 8 Sleep hub. I have a Chili Sleep Dock Pro as well. And I'll show the differences when we look at those side by side. But I want to show you kind of what comes in the box, what the overall experience is like opening this bad boy. And then if this thing is actually worth it, is this a reasonable competitor to 8 Sleep? Because 8 Sleep just dominates the market. Chili Sleep Dock Pro, it's okay. Not the best product. You have to refill the water all the time. I'm not in love with it after having used it for a long time. BedJet, budget friendly. It's air powered, but it doesn't cool as powerful as the 8 Sleep. It's nice if you're trying to save money, but it's not as effective. This right here is the Somnus Lab base unit. So it's kind of the hub that powers everything. Model SL1001. I met the founder, very nice guy. They did not pay me to make this video, but they did send this to me, this product for free. So they did not get to see this video. And I'm providing my honest opinion about it. So just keep that in mind. I always wonder if I should keep the packaging so I can ship this somewhere else, or I think I get too many boxes. I think we should toss it. Let me know. Should I keep tossing boxes that I get from companies, or do I? So what's nice is this comes in a little bag with a handle. That's the sleeping pad. So if you ever need to pack it up or you want to reuse this, you can. 8 Sleep also comes with a very nice bag that's reusable. I use for lugging around my laundry. Now this is the Somnus hub. Check out the hub. We've got some foam inserts on the top and bottom. The backside of the fan, we have 4 connector tubes, power, a USB-C, 2 buttons. I love this white design. It's a contrast to the 8 Sleep black design. We have buttons on the front, so you can actually control this without Wi-Fi and internet, and you don't need to connect it to anything, which I do like. The Dock Pro had that. 8 Sleep does not have a way to control it without the app. There was a server outage, AWS outage, and you couldn't use your 8 Sleep during that time. So I think a lot of people were frustrated because you have to pay a subscription, and it's unusable if the 8 Sleep servers are out. But they've released a fix. But ideally, I'd want to be able to control this thing without technology. I don't like bringing my phone in the bedroom, so this is a big value add for this device. It looks very similar, the technology. The real question is it just as reliable? Ooh, so it looks like on the top here, you can take this lid off. I think we have 2 water areas where we fill it with water. Pull this out. Ooh, interesting. So you kind of just open them up, and there's a big gaping hole. On the 8 Sleep and the Chili Sleep, you actually can take the container out and fill it up with water somewhere else. Whereas this one, it looks like you have to fill the water here. That could be a bit frustrating because if I spill water, I get it everywhere around this. Whereas the 8 Sleep, I can fill it up in near the sink or the bathtub just to be safe. We have more buttons than I realized. We have a plus minus, plus on the sides for each side 1 and 2, and then minus on the bottom. I don't love that it's a sticker for the sides because once I take this off, I'm gonna forget which side is which. Obviously this thing is going to emit a lot of heat. I like that it's got ventilation on the bottom and the top and the back. I hope they're using Noctua fans, so it's super silent. They did mention that it is silent on their website. We'll have to test that out. We've got the logo on the side over here and a nice grip on the bottom. Optimal sleep powered by science. Before we begin, QR code to scan. You know, it's kind of like a full-time job when you unbox things to throw away and compressed boxes. Fun fact of the day. It's part of the routine. All right, they have every language, but where's English? Safety information warranty, 2-year limited warranty, power rating 300 watts, operating temperature range 59 Fahrenheit to 95 Fahrenheit, or 15 to 35 Celsius. Interesting, what if your room is below 59 degrees Fahrenheit? Will this not work? Very similar technology to 8 Sleep. You're just gonna connect the hoses and then the USB-C cable, fill it up with water, power it on, and you're ready to go. I like that the instructions are inside of the lid just in case I forget. You do have to add water to both tanks. I assume 1 tank is for each side of the bed. Now this is the sleeping pad. I think that one of the biggest complaints about sleeping pads is leakage. Is this going to be durable enough to withstand leaking after a long-term use? That's a big issue with 8 Sleep and any water cooling cover mattress is that animals, cats, dogs, scratch the bed, boom, leakage. Highly recommend you get a water resistant cover for your mattress. If you're going to put this on, put that water resistant cover on and then put this cover on top of that. Just the nature of the game. If you're gonna be filling water through your mattress, it's better to be safe. It's like a little bit of insurance. It's a nice bag. I think it'll probably break if you put too much heavy stuff in it, but that's pretty cool. Now I like this. That's plastic. It's gonna protect it from dust if you're not using it, and it's folded up. The 8 Sleep one will come highly compressed, and you'll cut it open and then the bag is not reusable. And then it expands massively like a mattress. But this is the queen bed cover. It's one cover for both sides. Now another thing with the Chili Sleep was that it was half. You had to get 2 hubs, one for each side. I like this one hub for both sides. The other issue was the Chili Sleep was actually easy to put on because it was just a pad. You cover your mattress with it. The 8 Sleep's kind of like a wrapper. It's a burrito. It goes along the sides, a little bit underneath the bottom, so that way it doesn't move. Now, this looks like a pad, but it looks like we have some pieces that will go around your mattress to make sure that it covers the mattress. You get the nice tubing. It is all white. This is so interesting. 8 Sleep, all dark, all black. This is white. This might show stains easier. I don't know which preference on color you have, but I don't think that's an issue. This is more about performance. Is this thing going to cool my bed? Is it going to help me sleep better? And is it going to last a long time? Because it is water cooling, you need high quality. Do not skimp out on cheap products when it comes to water cooling your mattress, because there's a higher probability you will ruin your mattress. On top, you can see here, we've got Somnus Lab. This unit will go to the top of your bed. It's labeled side B, so you have dual zone control. You and your partner can have separate temperatures, or you have one temperature for both sides. This is almost the same hardware as the 8 Sleep. You can see right here, it's got the 4 plugs. I think this would probably plug into the 8 Sleep. The question is, could you also control this with the 8 Sleep? I'm not sure. Maybe something to try. USB-C cable, it's black. I wish it was white. We've got a whole white thing going on, and there's like one piece that sticks out. It looks like this is the standard USB-C cable that comes with some product that you buy and then you're never gonna use it. Wish it was white. Now the Pod 5 on the 8 Sleep added hardware buttons. Over here, we've got hardware buttons on the Somnus as well. This will go on each side. Love to see that. You have buttons on each side of the bed. Now in terms of how this feels, it feels like a mattress cover. It's gonna add a bit of firmness to your mattress, as they all do, because it's just another layer goes on top of your bed. On the bottom, you can't really feel the tubing, but I'll have a more long-term review. We'll do some testing, thermal camera work. So let me know what questions you have down below so we can answer them. But it seems to feel pretty good. I'll put this on a queen bed so we can see what the temperatures are like, but I don't feel any of the tubing. I know the new 8 Sleep used to be straight lines and then they turn it into circles to improve the heating, cooling performance. But this seems to be like you can't feel any of the tubing. It feels kind of like a softer cover that goes on top of your bed right now. It feels pretty thick. I don't know how effective the cooling is gonna be. The thicker it is, the less likely, oh, I feel a tube here. Yeah, so maybe you can kind of feel it, which I do like, because then you know that you can feel the temperature change. Yeah, you can kind of feel it if you really dig. Tube there, where does that go? Tube there, so yeah. The closer you are to the water, the more you're going to feel the temperature change. The softer they make the pad, the less you feel the tubes, but also the less you feel the temperature change. So there's trade-offs on both ends. I think when it comes to, I wanna feel cooled, I'd rather worry about performance. If you're like, I really need to feel soft, then you're gonna degrade some of that performance. Just the more layers you put on, bed sheet, something else you put on top of this, you're just not gonna feel it as much. Now this is the Somnus Lab hub. How does it compare next to the 8 Sleep and the Dock Pro? This right here is the 8 Sleep hub. You can see side by side, darker, sleeker, maybe more hidden, white, gives off a different vibe, a different energy. We have one fan on the back, 2 fans on the back here, the same kind of 4 tubing. They made theirs vertical, 8 Sleep's horizontal. One issue with the 8 Sleep is it's very hard to reach this part when you're trying to plug it in if you have the hub in a hidden space by your bed, like trying to reach back, plug this in, find the USB port, press the buttons for syncing, bit challenging. I like that's a little more open, a little easier to access here. You have the buttons, USB-C port, same type of power cable. This is USB-C, USB-A. The Somnus, you can see, has ventilation on the bottom, whereas the 8 Sleep is ventilation on the back and the sides. Somnus has no ventilation on the sides, but let's compare the front to see how they look different. Over here, you see the 8 Sleep side by side. You have the buttons on the Somnus Lab, whereas the 8 Sleep has no buttons, no controls on the unit itself, other than the buttons in the back to snooze alarms, or the buttons on the cover if you have the Pod 5 cover. You've got the 8 logo here, you got a Somnus Lab like text and logo on the front here. So I would say for the most part, these hubs are more similar to each other than the Dock Pro, which I'll show, which is flat and can slide underneath your bed. So I'm hopeful in terms of performance that this will be just as effective. Now this is the Chili Sleep Dock Pro, flatter profile. We've got vents on the front here. Actually needs to be clean because of the dust. Water tank, much smaller than the 8 Sleep. Always had to refill this thing, so that's why it never gets used. This is only for one side of the bed, so we only have 2 plugs. Classic power cable. You can control this via no Wi-Fi, which I think is one value add that 8 Sleep hasn't had, and Somnus decided to steal that. I do appreciate that. You have plus minus buttons here, power on off. You would have one on each side of the bed. So now you have 2 power outlets you need to plug in. You have 2 tubes running from this device to the second device to power each side of the bed. They don't connect the pads, so a bit more frustrating of an experience. You have to refill the water more often. Not ideal. I don't recommend this as much, but If it's cheaper and you want water cooling, this is the more budget-friendly water cooling device. But this is kind of how it looks next to these Somnus labs. If we put it vertical here, I wonder if they're, yeah, about the same size, but if I put it to the back, there is about 4-inch gap here. So it is definitely the smallest of all the hubs, the 8 Sleep being the largest. Now, if you do plan to buy this, click the link in the description. There might be a discount code that will help support the channel. Subscribe, share, and share. Let me know your questions so we can do that in the full review. We'll see you in the next one.